Here is how to use the powerful app for your nutrition. The app has some really great features to help you with your healthy eating habits. There's lots of different ways you can track, which I'll explain at the end. There's now options to add recipes, search for foods, and plan your meals in advance so you are organized and ready for your week. So the app is really, really good to help you understand your nutrition better. Now, why do we need to understand our food? So in Powerful, I always focus on you guys learning about how to get in good quality food in the right quantity for your goals, and also working on building healthy habits in your lifestyle to make eating well a way of life and not a chore. If you can understand the food you eat, you can also understand your energy levels during the day, how to change your body composition. So if you want to change your body fat levels, help build muscle, or actually improve your strength in the gym as well. And also learn how to fuel your workouts properly and nourish your body. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you some of the features of the app. So I'd recommend if you have your phone next to you with your app open, you can follow along just to learn as you go, because I find most people learn best by doing rather than just watching. But that can help you feel a little bit more familiar and start playing around with it right now. Now, first things first, how to add a meal. So if you go into your Powerful app, there should be a big blue plus button on the right-hand side there that you can click. And what will pop up is this little list. So it's got all your things like your workout, your cardio activity, meal, which we'll click on. But you can also add photos, body stats, and your sleep too. So I'll do other videos to explain all those so that you feel a bit more familiar with those as well. But all you got to do is click on meal and it'll open this first page in the meal tracker section. Now, this is really cool because you can add a photo or a screenshot or a photo you've already taken of your food if you wish. So if you've got your food right there in front of you, you can take a little snap. Or if you've taken it before, you can save it and it'll be saved into the app. If you don't want to use this feature, that's also fine. You can actually just skip the photo and it'll move through into the actual meal tracking section as well, which we'll go through in a minute. Here's a little demo of how to do this. So you'll click on the plus, click on meal, it'll open the little section, and you've got the option there to click on that left-hand side to find some photos, or you can press skip photo and head on through. Now, a really cool feature that I can now share with you guys is recipes. So on this front page, on the bottom right there is a Discover tab. So if you click that, you can get into the recipe library. This is really great because you can actually track these recipes directly as well into the app. But you can also scroll down just to find some recipes you're interested in if you need some ideas. And you can also filter them by clicking that top right hand filter button and searching for breakfast or lunch or whatever you feel like looking for. I would really love it if you guys would share some of your recipes with me, because if you have some of your favorites that you'd like to have in the app, so A, you can track them, and B, you can share them with us, that would be amazing, because I'm sure lots of you have amazing balanced meals ready to go that you meal prep every week that we would all love to share. So just send them through to me and I can manually add them to the app, but I'll also be slowly adding my own extra recipes as well. Here's a little demo and how to do that. So you click on the Discover tab, you've got all the recipes down there that you can scroll. Mine are at the top, and there's also some of the apps ones as well. You can click the filter button and then filter them as you like so that you can find some more specific meals as well. And if you want to select a meal, you just click on it. And you can see lots of the information like the recipe and the ingredients, how to make it. And if you want to add it, you can just click add at the top and it will turn up in your app. Now, to actually track your food. So there's a section here to search for foods, which is a really, really big database already, which is really great. The app just keeps getting better and bigger. So you can simply search for foods up the top in the search bar and find a food that is very similar to what you're wanting. All the simple things like whole foods will be there. If there's more specific brands, you can search for the brand itself as well. And all you've got to do is press the plus button to add it into your day to track it. Your recent foods you've selected will turn up in the recents tab. So if you've got stuff you eat every day, it's very easy to find. It's usually sitting there near the top. You can also favorite certain recipes. You can favorite certain foods. Once you click into a food, there's a heart button that you can click, and that will save it into favorites, which makes it even easier to find for you. And also, if there's a food that isn't actually in the app, you can save it as a custom food as well. So if you have something with nutritional information in front of you that you want to add, you are more than welcome, and then you can add your own custom foods as well. So all you do is search in the top and find the most suitable option. You can click the plus to add it. And that will come up in the Recents tab, which is full of all the foods that are being used. You can favorite certain ones that you want to find and also add custom ones that aren't already in there. It also has a barcode scanner, which is super helpful, and lots of foods are in the barcode scanner's database. So all you got to do is simply press that barcode scanner, scan the food, and see if it comes up. If it doesn't, then you might have to add it as a custom food. But as I just said, lots of the common foods that you find in Woolies and Coles are already in there, which is really exciting. All right, now once you've got the food actually logged, you can start customizing it. So when you just go through and select all the foods, they just pop into the meal that you've selected, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack. So you might have to edit them a little bit to make it more accurate depending on what you actually ate. So once you go in, you can click those three dots there and you can edit the serving sizes. It's cool because you can change it between like cups and grams and certain serving sizes for each food so that it's as accurate as you'd like it to be. You can add extra foods to the meal, add descriptions, also update meal photos if you're wanting to add meal photos, and make sure you save it at the end so that it actually submits. Now, there's also times that get allocated with each of the meals. So there's automatic ones that you can see on the right there. So if you do log at between 6 a.m. in the morning and 10 a.m. in the morning, the food will be automatically logged as breakfast. But if it wasn't your breakfast and it was like the dinner the night before, you can go and edit, change the time, and make sure that it's on the actual correct time if you want it to go in order. If you don't care too much about what order all the foods are in, then you don't have to change this, but I like to have them in the correct spot. It just makes it easier to read. It's up to you. But if you do log at the actual time, it will log it in. I know we don't all perfectly do that at the right time though, so it's up to you. But once you've edited it, it should all be nice and accurate and easy to change. And I do really like that the foods are quite easy to change in serving sizes because there's lots of different options there you can pick from. So if you've added some foods, all you do is click the three dots and click edit, and then you can actually go in, change the time, like I said, if it's at the wrong time. I'm quite fussy, I just like things to be at the correct time. You can also change the serving size. So I usually do things in grams because I weigh lots of stuff, and that makes it easier for me. There's also ways to estimate it. And you can add a meal photo if you like, if you've got one in front of you, and add more foods as well. You can also save it as breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack, depending on what it actually was. The app won't let you add extra breakfast. So if you've already logged breakfast and then trying to add it to breakfast again, you'll have to actually go into breakfast to edit it. So just a little note on that. But otherwise, it's pretty user friendly and you can add it wherever you like. You can also add meals you've already logged by going back to that first page and clicking on the clock icon that says past meals. So if you have a very similar breakfast every day or snacks or whatever you log, you can just add past meals very easily. So you don't have to keep refinding it every single day. That's pretty easy to add. And if you have the meal photos on there, it's even easier to find as well. Now, another really cool feature is you can actually schedule meals and track on multiple days as well, which I find a really, really handy feature if you're somebody who meal preps or has similar food each day, or you're wanting to be really organized for the next week. So all you got to do to find this is click on that plus button and click on the date. So right at the top there where it says today, you can click on the date. And then what you got to do is just select the dates that you're wanting to add the information to. So if you're meal planning for next week, for example, you might press next Monday to Friday and you can click next. You can actually also use this to add workouts, activities, like if you want to walk every day or something, or you can add your photos of body stats and stuff like that. But for now, obviously, we're talking about meals. So you can click on the meal section and then click through to the next bit. And you can start adding all the meals or foods or anything that you want to add to those days, which I think is a really, really good feature. And what makes it easy is if it's already pre-logged into your week, you're much more likely to eat that because it's already organized, it's already logged. If you already prepped it, it's so, so much easier to eat than relying on convenience or relying on what you find on the way. So I actually love this feature. I think you guys should really utilize it. So you just go into the plus, click on the date, select the dates that you want to add the meals to. Click save or next. Then you can go through and just start finding foods that you like to add. So all the same concepts we've already been talking about, whether you want to add recipes, current meals, foods that you've added, whatever you like. And then what happens is when you go to your calendar tab, if we scroll down here, you'll see that I added a smoothie to each of those days for next week. That's already logged, already there, ready for me to eat. So if I've got all my smoothies prepped for the week, I am fully organized. So I think that's a really, really great feature. Now, I've talked about the features of the app. Now, here are some ways you can actually use the app to log your food. Now, I've made 4 different ones that might suit you depending on where you're at. There's something for everyone depending on how detailed you want to go. Now, the first one is very, very simple. It's just saving notes of your food you can do. So some of my clients that track don't want to go into full detail with all the calories, macros, and adding all the individual foods, but they still want to be accountable. It can actually be very helpful just to track your food. So literally write down what you've eaten either on a paper diary or in your notes app section, whatever's convenient for you. And you can save that and add it as a quote unquote meal photo. But this will still turn up on each of the days on your calendar that you can revisit and double check what you had on those days. So it's still a great way for to be accountable, but it's not as accurate as tracking fully. I still find this super helpful and love using it with clients that are not wanting to get in full detail, but still want some accountability and ways to look back on the food that they've eaten. And this way, it also doesn't get lost in your notes too far up because as you refresh and review your week or your month of training and nutrition, you can just go have a little click and see how you went. So that's a really simple way to actually use the app to save notes of your food, just simply saving the notes as a meal photo. Option 2 is using actual meal photos, so what it was designed for. So you can simply add a photo of your food that you've taken or take the photo there and then of your food. I think this is a really good tool if you're wanting to focus on mindful eating and getting accountable for your food, and also to practice your portion sizing. So taking pictures of your food and being aware of, do I have a portion of protein, carbohydrate, fat, and veggies? So you can get a little bit more awareness. This is, again, not as accurate as full meal tracking, but it's really good for starting to get some awareness of your food, getting some detail about what you're actually eating, and starting to understand those food portion sizing. So the meal photos are really great. Plus, it's also a really visual diary of what you've eaten, which is really cool. It's nice to see all your foods, although they might not look as beautiful as that perfectly prepared oatmeal there. I know my food usually looks like mush, but whatever. It's what works best for you. Option 3 is, of course, the meal tracking in the app, which is fabulous. So you can start tracking your meals through the app software. This is probably the most accurate way to track and keep on track with your calories and your macros. If you want specific goals, please talk to me, and I would recommend using me to help set up your recommended goals depending on what you're actually aiming for, whether it's body composition, whether it's just aiming for an overall energy intake, because I can give you a way more accurate estimate than if you're just using some software on the internet. So I probably would recommend that. But this is a fabulous way to understand what's in your food, how much you're eating on a daily basis, start tracking recipes, start getting involved with the food, and also just tracking how much you actually eat in a day, because most people have absolutely no clue. I think it's similar to budgeting your money. If you can understand how much is going in, how much is going out, then you have a lot more awareness of why your body is the way it is or why your energy is the way it is. So meal tracking is obviously a fabulous way to track. And then there is one more option you can do as well, which has nothing much to do with the actual app, but is still very useful, is you can sync over your MyFitnessPal. So if you go over to the More section and scroll down, you can change the tracker to MyFitnessPal and then sync it. So if you're somebody who already uses MyFitnessPal, which is another tracking app that I have used extensively in the past, it does sync over to the powerful app, and you can still see your data, your meals, and your information coming up on your calendar as well. So this is really good for accountability as well. If you're somebody who's already a MyFitnessPal buff and you use it in and out, then this is great as well. So I've added this in because they've had this feature for a very long time, and that was the original way. I used to get people to track their food very accurately, but as the new meal tracker has come in, I've been using that more and more, and myself, I've started using the in-app tracker as well. But MyFitnessPal does still sync over, so you can do that if you like. So that gives you a good overview of where the app is currently at for nutrition. It is so cool, and I really, really think you guys should start using it, get involved, start learning more about your food and tracking. Plus, as I said before, I would love you to share your recipes and what you're up to with your food, because sharing is caring and everybody learns so much from other people, myself included. I love hearing what you guys eat, and you have delicious recipes to share that'd be amazing. However, if you are a little bit lost or you want more detailed nutrition coaching, goal setting, or help with nutritional education in general, and planning and understanding your meals, then please book a consultation with me. We can sit down, talk about you individually, where you're at, and organize a plan and make sure that you've got something that's going to suit you best where you're currently at with your nutrition and wellness journey. So, thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the nutrition tracking on your apps.